Hello, it's Kerry from Mobilates, and I'm with you for 30 minutes for session 156. And it's our closest session to the end of the year, this one. This is a last live one. So if you celebrate Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas right at the beginning, just in case I forget at the end. And if you just enjoy getting to the end of the year and you celebrate other things, or it's just a different time for you, it's a time when certainly we're getting to that very short place of daylight, and we're just coming up to the solstice this weekend. So it's going to get a little bit brighter. Shall we get started? A really gentle session, because a lot of people are a bit frazzled this time of year. A lot of people have been poorly, and you might have a combination of those two things going on. So I've got lots of things that hopefully will calm your body, whether you are standing, whether you are sitting, whether you're on the edge of a bed. And we're going to move to a lying down position as an option, but you could stay sitting. So let's start with a wider base. That means your feet are wider apart. We'll take our arms down by our sides, and then we'll turn our palms up and take a breath in. And as you breathe in, it's like you're filling up your back from down here, the low part of your back, upwards. And as you breathe out, you're just letting the air go through your nose or your mouth. So breathing in and filling up your back from the base of your spine upwards. And then breathing out. Take your time, nice, long, smooth, slow exhale. And a couple more. And as your arms come down this time, just start to move your feet, little stamps, tamps of the floor, little wipes of your feet, just trying to get a little bit more warmth and friction through your feet. I have got my, I don't know if you can see them, Christmas pudding socks on today. Christmassy jumper with a little dashing through the snow and some Christmassy themes. Just getting my other sock up there for you. And then we'll take our toes up and down. So both feet on the floor, one set of toes up, then the other foot toes up. That's it. And then if you're standing, just sink down a little. Let your knees go forwards, just a touch. And we're going to go into pelvic tilt. So I'm going to have a hand on my belly and a hand on my back. Breathe into your back just like we did before. Make yourself wider and fuller right at the back. And as you breathe out, it's a little lift up of the pubic bone, just here, and the belly pulling up. And an exhale. As you breathe in, let all that go. Let your belly soften and get bigger. Let that breath come in across your back into your belly as well. Breathe out. Tipping the other way. And if you're doing this on the chair, on your sit bones, rolling back off your sit bones, rolling forwards over your sit bones onto your thighs. That's it. And one more. And then tap the back of your head, rub the bridge of your nose, and take those sensations back a little bit. And then we're going to turn to the side and look up to the sky, really looking upwards. And then take it down, look across the other way, look up to the sky, looking for stars. And we're almost at that time of day where it is, it's dark and you might be able to see, or not quite, but stars coming out. It's just grey and a bit dank outside, a bit damp and soggy, and definitely wintry. And then coming back to the centre, roll one shoulder, roll the other shoulder, and let your waist turn as much as it comfortably can. And then we'll take our arms out to the side, and you can either swish your hands around like you're in water in a pool, or you can let your arms swing around gently, your legs are moving, your hips are moving. If you're sitting, you can either take your legs wide and slide your hands, one up, one down, or you can swish, excuse me, your hands around. I find that putting your arms out doesn't work so well in the chair, much more likely to hit a piece of furniture, not very comfortable. And then we're going to face forward with our legs wider, arms out at the side, and we're going to float our arms up like wings and then wriggle the fingers, a little sprinkling of snowflakes, glitter, magic, whatever you fancy. So we are fairy on top of the tree. So we grow tall as our arms come up for our wings, and then they're going down again. Could even breathe in as they go up and out as they ripple down, sprinkle down. Next one's going to be different. As we go up, just going to do a little heel raise with wider legs. Oh, I'm going to bring my legs a little bit closer together because it feels good for me. If you want your legs a little bit closer together and your feet a little bit more forwards. So if this feels too much, maybe this hand is going to touch something to stabilize you, and you might work one arm and you could do the balance that way, and just keep your fingers just touching, even if it's a very light touch, or this could be putting your hand on a wall here. If you're finding this a bit much sitting, you might want to bring your hands to your chest and take your elbows up and down. And a couple more. And then we'll keep our legs wider. We're going to keep our feet down, keep your seat down if you're sitting, and reach one arm up, straight up and overhead, and then the other arm. And you keep the weight in your feet and the weight of your seat really even. Now, if that's too much, it might be you do it like a salute and the point of your elbow comes up, or it might be that you do a little dip with the elbow like this. This is a really nice one if your shoulder really does not like your arm. Frozen shoulder, for instance. This is a way to get that side bend and make it less about the shoulder as well. And last one. And then take your arms, so they've got, look like they've got a ball between your hands. And then we're going to draw a big circle in front of us. This is my solstice move. So thinking about more sunlight, more light coming. Solstice this Sunday. And you could bend your knees for this if you're standing, and then straighten. So you get this up and down movement. If you're sitting, you could lift your heels up and then take them down. My cat's a little excited this afternoon. I think it's because it's a bit wet for going out, so she's been frisking around. We're going to change directions. She doesn't quite know where to sit because we've got the heating on, so she doesn't know whether to go on the warm heater or go on the cozy blanket. And then come back to the center, and we're going to have our arms outwards, and now we're making a star sort of shape. I'm going to show you in both positions. So if you are standing, we're going to just take the weight over to one side. So you see my star has tilted. And then if your arms need a rest, so your arms could come up and down like this. You could also hold your arms up, maybe even touching something. I'm going to touch this house here. And lift the leg up and down. If you're doing this sitting, have your legs wide. We'll reach over to one side, one arm. Now at the moment I've got the other arm here on this leg, just supporting me. If I'm feeling like I've got enough strength here, I might take the other arm out to the side. If I haven't, I might just hold it like this. And we could take this arm up and down. We're not going to lift the leg. swap sides. So we start off as a star, we take the weight over, so we're like a tilted star. You could take your arms up and down. You could hold your arms still and keep the weight in one leg and take that leg up and down. My toe is just coming to touch the floor. It's quite a tricky balance, this one. And then we'll take it down. Bring the arms in, give everything a little rub at the sides. And then place your hands on your thighs and sort of around this hip crease area. I've got my thumb just in that hip crease where my leg bends to bring it in. If I'm lifting my leg. We're going to send the bum back. Come up, bring the elbows to the side, palms up, take them out to the side. So the little hip hinge here. And go down as low as you want to. In fact, it's more of a squat than a hip hinge. Elbows into the waist, palms outwards. If your knees give you trouble, make it a hip hinge. And that means keep your lower leg vertical and just send your bum back. So the knees don't change shape. They don't do anything extra. They're not doing that. So that's what it looks like for a hip hinge. If you are comfortable to let your knees point forwards a bit more and sink your bum down a little further, like you're sitting on something very low. That's more of a squat. So you can take it there if we're doing this sitting. Hands in the same place. But then we'll come up, elbows in at the waist, palms out to the side. So we're letting the weight go forwards, pushing into our feet, just like we're about to get up. Changed our minds, sitting. Offering out our hands on each side. So it's a bit of dumb waiter. It's like you're serving at a party and getting your exercise in at the same time. Who hasn't done that? And this time, as we take our arms out, we're going to go out a little further and then in. So out, out, in. If you're doing this standing, we've gone out, we're going to go out, out, in, out, out, in. Next one's different again. Out, out, turn your palms down and up, down and up, down and up. Place your hands back on the hip crease, lower down. Let's go into that squat or that hip hinge. Your gaze travels downwards, hold it there, and then come up, going down again. Nice and slow, 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 slow. And then come up and one more. Slow, slow, slow. Feel your thighs. Admire your muscles. And then come up and give everything a little shake off. We'll have a little sway side to side. And then let your feet rest, but that sway continue. So you've got both feet on the floor, but as you sway, just lifting up a heel. That's it. Both feet down. And then we're going to do a heel drop. So this is, we go up like we did for the balance, but we drop down. Now you can put a little bit of a bump through your system. If you're not used to this sort of little jolt, go gentle. If you are used to it, this is really good for our bones. So I use this move with a lot of my classes for bone boosting because it helps your bones create more cells. So it helps build your bones. But it really, you need to get that sort of jiggle through everything. And a way to imagine this, a sort of wintry theme, is when we're doing our swaying like that. We were trees in a wood, so pines, conifers, that sort of thing. Evergreens, and they're covered in snow. This is us shaking our snow off. And one more. And then we're going to go into roll downs. So you might go into a standard sort of roll down. I'm going to show you a standard roll down. I'm just going to soften my knees, getting the weight nice and even through my feet. Turn my palms outwards, nodding the head, letting the palms and arms relax and hang. And just taking it slowly downwards, like I'm peeling away from leaning against a wall. And then I'm going to hang about here. Send the breath to my back. And that inhale creates a little bit of tension, and I'm going to use that muscular tension as I exhale to bring myself up to standing, and then roll my shoulders. If you'd like something without that weighted flexion, that bending of the back like that. So if you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, we're going to keep our spine supported throughout. So for this, hands on your thighs, take your bum back in that hip hinge position, straight back. Now a little pelvic tilt. So that means this part of my back, my pelvis tips under, and then I'm going to walk my hands, press them into your legs, up your body. I'm going to set my chest forward, even looking a little higher, just giving my shoulders a wriggle. If you're sitting, you can do a roll down with your hands going down your legs. Your belly scooping back with the exhale to bring yourself up. Or that same hip hinge. So let your hands slide forward to about your knees. Tip your pelvis, so pubic bone towards your ribs. And then walk the hands up the body until you're upright. Give your shoulders a roll. We'll do a couple more. I'm going to do one of each kind. And then when you're upright again, we're going to go into different versions of all fours. So if you're sitting, you can place your hands like against an imaginary piece of glass. This is your all fours. You may want to just give it a moment whilst I go through the different versions, otherwise your wrists are up there for a long time. So that's going to be a sitting position. If you are standing but don't want to go onto your knees, take it down to a surface like a table or a mantelpiece. Push my lights back a little bit. So I tend to use this chest of drawers because my palms can just about fit on it, so I can push down into it. And I don't want you like that leaning in. I want an all fours sort of position, so you've got this shape under here, a bit like a sort of wonky table. And my back is straight. Just watch the head dropping. I don't want to be looking at my toes. I'm going to pull my head back, and I'm just looking over here at this wall in the doll's house. If you're comfortable going down onto the floor in an all fours position, get yourself comfy with any extra things that help, any extra support under your knees, under your wrists, whatever makes this easier. Because all fours is often a move that's quite challenging for people, but it's really good for putting weight through your wrists, especially if they struggle with this. So once we get to our all fours position, the first thing I want you to do is push away. So if you are standing with your hands against things, push away from that thing. Push your chest away and your head back, and just hold that, and then let everything sink. Can you see the difference? This is me pushing away. This is me letting everything sink. So that's movement at the shoulder blades. If I'm doing this sitting, I'll show you from the side. Here's me sitting, hands on imaginary glass. There's my shoulders pushing a little more forwards, and I'm pulling my ribs back, and I'm going to let everything come back. See the difference? And then if I'm doing that on the ground, I know you can't quite see my hands, but my hands don't matter here. If you just push through your hands, especially the little finger edge, and now push your chest away from the floor, and then let it sink down. You'll find your gaze gets a little bit closer. Now it gets further away. Let it sink down. One more. Further away. Hold it there. Now we're going to just give our bum a little wiggle to the side and turn and have a little look. Can we just about see the side there? So this is where reindeers, by the way, in this position. I forgot to tell you. We're just checking out our tail. So this is how it looks in this position. I'll take myself to seated next. You could rest your hands down on your knees this time. Little wriggle around this side, little wriggle around the other side. And if I'm standing, So what we're getting really is a little bit of tension and curve into our side. And then just take the weight off the things that hurt. So for me, it's my wrists. That's the bit that hurts. So I just tend to give them a little rub, maybe a little circle. Maybe you need to come off your knees if you're sitting for a moment. We're going to go back and do one more. So let's take it back there. So I'm going to start in this position, push away again, and then we're going to just lift a hand off and then lift a hand off the other side. So I'm just taking that arm a little bit out to the side, and I'm trying to keep everything else as still as possible. So it's not that sort of movement, just taking that hand just out a little, lifting it. If you're doing this in this position, I'd like to take the hand out and bring it back, hand and arm out and bring it back. And if you're doing it in this position, arm out and back, out and back, and you try not to get any change in the rest of your body as you do it. And then leave the hands. Now we're going to do the same with the legs. This is more like you're a male reindeer needing to cock its leg and have a little wee. So you're just taking that leg out a little and back, out, and the other side and back, and trying to keep everything the same. In seated, out and back, out and back. So I'm not turning my body, I'm keeping everything else really still. So there's definitely a bit of tension on my belly area whilst I keep it still. This is the last ones we're doing. Last one right now. And then take yourself to seated, lying down, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go to lying down. So I'm going to grab a cushion. Lying down on your back, your legs bent, your feet on the floor, sitting back in your chair, maybe an extra cushion behind you. And spend a bit of time getting yourself down to that position if you're changing. And when you get there, getting comfy. So rocks and sways are really good for that. Checking you've got room above, room below. And when you've got to that place, and don't worry if you're still taking your time, I'd much rather you took your time than you hurried. Let things settle. Take a few moments just to get a bit of focus on your breath, breathing in, filling up your back and the sides. Breathing out, letting the air go. Breathing in again, fill up your back. And breathing out like you can see your air on a cold day. With that sound. So when you get the vapor trails in the air. And it's a longer breath out. Till you feel a bit of tension on the belly. And then leave that focus. Just breathing as normal, hands on your belly. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, little pelvic tilt here. And then rocking forwards, rocking towards your ribs, rocking away. And one more. And then rest. Rest the back of your pelvis, let your head have a little roll or a turn. And we're going to imagine that we've got a tray on our belly. And we're going to put a snack on there, a round snack. So it could be a Lindor chocolate. They're beautifully round. It could be something savoury that you like that's round, maybe like an olive or something like that. And we're going to roll it round the edge of this circular tray. So we're just going to get this circular movement now. If you were lying down, this circular movement is here. It's like on this flat horizontal plane. If you are seated, it's going to be upright, like it's going around a washing machine. So not quite nice to imagine. So I would still imagine a tray rather than imagining a washing machine. And then change to the other direction. So one way is probably got really quite nice and smooth, and now we're going to make it a bit clunky as we go the other way, which will not be your favorite way. You'll have done your favorite way first. And then let that settle. Give your belly a little rub. And then if you're lying down, we're going to bring a leg inwards. So you can bring it as close as you comfortably can to your chest. We're not trying to curve our back a lot here. We're just bringing the knee in. If you've had a hip replacement, often the recommendation is to not bring your knee really close to your chest, more like a vertical thigh like that. So just do what's best for your body. Now, if you're sitting, I'd like you to shuffle further back in your chair. We're going to do the other leg. Don't worry about this too much yet if you're sitting. I'm going to show you something different. If you can lift your leg up to your chest, do so. But if you can't, could you do some toe and foot raises so your heel stays on the floor and you're lifting your foot up like that? We're just alternating legs as we do this. And then if you are lying down, bring both legs in, and we're going to straighten and lengthen one in the direction of the ceiling. You can see my hands are just holding my legs at the sides and the back, and just alternate. If your legs are a little bit further forwards, that's fine like that. This is our Santa chimney stretch. If you are seated, you're sat right at the back of your chair, so you've got maximum support under your thighs, and I'd like you to lengthen forwards. Now the difference is going to be, if you're lying down, you might want to lengthen both legs, lengthen one and then the other. If you're seated, it's going to feel a bit heavier, so you can give it a try. And if it feels like too much, go for one at a time with the other on the floor. And this move can be really nice if you're having circulation issues, or your legs need some lymphatic drainage, some fluid build up on the bottom of your feet. This helps the drainage down. I think I'm going to sneeze. I can just feel a tickle. Oh. Let's do something different with our feet. Next time you've got a leg up or both legs up, could you bring your toes towards your knees? So you're pushing your heels away, and then lengthen your toes away. This could be one leg. And if it's one leg, we'll swap round. And then we're going to do a circle for the ankle. A couple of times one way, a couple of times the other. If you can't do a circle, just do as curvy a shape as you can get. So if it's like a little wave, that's fine. And then we'll have one last lengthen and stretching of the legs, maybe give them a little rub, push the heels away, lengthen the toes, bring them down, place your feet down on the floor, have your legs slightly further apart so they're not touching each other, they're just hip width apart, and put your arms out to the sides of your chair, or your arms out to the side edges of your mat. And we're just going to let the legs sway, the shoulders are going to stay where they are. And my sneeze has passed. And then stop in the middle, bring the legs closer together and squeeze them against each other. Now the feet are going to act together. So as you roll to one side and roll onto one side edge of one foot, the other foot you're going to show a little bit of sole. And then roll the other way. And I'll do a couple more of those. You've got the option to let your head turn the other way from your knees. And then feet down. We're going to take our legs wider and slide one leg away as long as it can comfortably go, especially if you're sitting. You might want to dig a heel in and slide the other leg away. And we're now in a sort of star shape. If you're seated, you might want your arms lower down. Could you lengthen everything away a little bit more and then let it flop? Lengthen away, breath in. Let that air go, let everything flop. And one more. And slide your legs back. If you're lying down, we're going to come to sitting. So you might roll onto your side, or you might do a little roll up to sit, whatever you're happiest with. And to finish, we'll sit however you want to sit. We'll give ourselves a hug, a little rub. And then we're going to pretend to take our jumper off, little jumper off stretch. And then we cross the other way and have another jumper off stretch. Place your hands on your legs, give your shoulders a roll, little shrug. And then we take our palms outwards, scoop up the air, bring your hands together, bring them into your chest. Thank yourself for being with me today live. I didn't see any comments, so I don't know who's here. I had my wrong setting on. Who have I missed? Oh, Irene, thank you. Lovely to have you here. I know you're so often here with me. Just seeing any. Oh, Christine, thank you so much. Jackie, sorry, Jackie. My eyes, I need an eye test. Jackie, lovely to have you here too. Lots of regulars, really lovely to have you. I hope if you celebrate Christmas, you have a lovely, lovely celebration. If you just celebrate the end of the year, solstice, please enjoy that, a really cool Yule, and a happy new year when that finally comes. I will see you live back here in January. So that first week in January, I'll be back. Have a good one. Look after yourselves.